Where's the other video? Boop, 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 boop.
I was insecure about my breasts before. I didn't like the size. And I was like, maybe if they were a little bigger, like. So, and I went ahead, I did it, and I could never go back. Like, it makes me so happy. Like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, God damn, girl, where do you come from, ma? Like, okay, give me your number.
My whole entire life felt uncomfortable with my boobs because they were in a regular shape, and that was never gonna change unless I got a surgery. I could never regret it because I feel so much more confident even though they're not even like fully dropped
Tommy, I ain't
and
reading that
shaped
shit.
yet.
I'm sorry.
Hi, I
Good
love
luck.
my plastic surgery. I've had over 225.
My man, keep up the good
procedures.
content.
Thank
I
you.
had a lot
Primer.
of bad
2
experiences, but
months.
I don't regret any of
Aristotle.
it. It's made me who I am. I have a recording career now because of it.
As a trans person who goes through this cishet society, people are always nitpicking at my body. They're always like, you don't have big enough boobs. You don't have an ass. Your face looks fucked up. You don't look feminine. You look masculine. I kind of wish that I never got breast augmentation, not because like it makes me feel any type of way, but more so I wish I didn't feel like I had to have boobs to feel pretty. I didn't, like my mother pushed that a lot, like you need to look feminine to be beautiful, and I'm like,
Well, you're perfect the way you are, and the way you
Yeah.
are, you're always perfect.
100%, I'm telling you.
I was pretty before my surgery.
Absolutely, 100%. I was beautiful. I've always been. I still am, and I will be my whole life. This was just a little salt and pepper on top. That's it. A little more flavor.
Well, my nose changed my whole life, my whole perception of my face. So I think I'm beautiful now, but before when I look at pictures, I'm like, God damn, I'm so glad I got that nose job.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I've always felt like I'm beautiful from the inside out. No matter what anyone else tells me, like just because I didn't fit your beauty standard back then doesn't mean that I'm not beautiful now.
Okay, beautiful from the inside out. So this is, I've always had these issues with how people use language with this shit. That's not what the question is really about, right? That's what we feel like it's about. What it really is about is, do you believe that you were an attractive person before you got your surgery? That's what the question is. An attractive, physically attractive, is what that means, right? Because a lot of people go down this line of logic. It is, I am beautiful on the inside, and I've always been, and then, now I'm just, more, like, better looking on the outside, right? And it's like, okay, but that's not the question. The same thing, like, applied to me, and I hate this when people did this. The same thing applied when we talk about, like, height as well. It's not about how tall you are or how short you are. If you were to ask a guy, like, do you like short women? And they're like, well, it's not about the height. What it's really about is the personality. Shut the fuck up. That's not what I asked you. Somebody that has the exact same personality, they're 5'6" or they're 6 foot, go. Right? They're 5'3" or they're 6 foot. Go. Exact same human. Which one do you prefer? That's what the question is. I hate it when people do this weird nonsense where it's same thing applies with like breast size or any of these other tertiary things, dick size as well. It's not about the size of the dick. It's about how you use it. Okay, let's say both of these people have a master class in how to lay pipe. One's fucking 10 inches, one's 8 inches, one's 6, one's 4. Which one do you prefer? Right? Like, That's what people care about knowing, but people do this weaselly fucking shit. I think it's really fucking cringe. It's not getting to the heart of the question.
People should be open about their plastic surgery.
It's nobody's business. It isn't. Sometimes I'll tell people, I guess I look like a walking plastic surgery doll, but
People should be open about plastic surgery. I think if probably they're like a content creator, they should probably be at least open to the idea of talking about. I don't think you have to tell people that you're talking about it, but I don't think you should be like actively like trying to fucking. Well, I mean, it also depends on the plastic surgery. I don't know. I think it's really case by case. I'd probably be in the somewhat disagree bin because I think it's case by case. But in general, I understand the argument that like people who have gone through a tremendous amount of plastic surgery saying they're natty and shit like that, putting up unrealistic beauty standards and shit like that because they say they're natty. I view it quite similar to people who are on roids and shit like that. Like probably be pretty honest with whether or not your body's obtainable naturally.
You know, I could care less. And you know,
If they're selling if they're selling beauty products with the implication, which 90% of people who sell the beauty products are, with the implication that you'll look like them if you use it, I'd say you should be open about your cosmetic surgery. So what have you had done? Well, for one, I've had to never mind.
to the individual.
I was going for something and I realized I had
nothing.
nothing.
Well, I think when it comes to
my cogs were turning actively. I was hitting that fucking statement really quick, and I was like, God, I gotta think of something, and then it just didn't happen. By the end of that fucking I had nothing. I had to let it go.
celebrities and like influencers, like you should be open about your plastic surgery, because I think that people, like, especially like when they're in they have higher platforms, that they should be open about it, because a lot of people have had plastic surgery. It's like,
I want
you're going
face
around
surgery
saying,
because
"Oh,
I'm
like, you're
ugly."
not-
Like, we go to the dentist.
It's like, okay,
I find that a vast majority of the people that say that they're ugly tend to not be ugly, and maybe at worst are slightly below average. And I'm using this for reference, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke. I use for reference one of the groups of people that say they're the ugliest groups of people, incels, right? If you look at incels, oh my God, the amount of people that are self-proclaimed incels that, like, when you take a picture of them, you're like, dude, I saw this guy on the sidewalk the other day. I didn't bat an eyelid. This is just a normal looking fucking dude, right? I think it's more often than not, you're just probably average looking or what have you, and they're just getting down on yourself. For an example as well,
I had to have a mom surgically removed from my cock.
I'm trans, so, well, listen, there's probably, well, then I definitely know that there's a high probability there's a lot of self-image issues going on there when it comes to, like, your view of yourself. Now, if you want surgery to be able to do that, I'd say that's probably one of the circumstances that say have the higher likelihood that, like, you probably understand that you probably would, like, be happier with that than disproportionately other people. But, like, dear God, for example, like, that I like to bring up is, like, I used to think I was a 2 out of 10 personally growing up. I used to think I was a 2 out of 10. I used to literally think I was 10, and then I realized I'm probably not. I'm probably not the case, and how I judged that was based on a whole litany of factors or whatever. But, like, people shit on themselves unjustly, so it happens. It's something that people go through.
you don't want to tell me a story, that's okay, but don't tell me something's real and natural when it's plastic.
Plastic surgery doesn't hurt that bad.
My recovery, honestly, wasn't
Probably
that bad.
depends.
Everybody told me, you're going to be in so much pain, this and that, you're not going to be able to lift your arms, you're not going to move. I was fine. Like, 2 days later, I was in the shower, and I took my shirt off, I didn't feel it.
I'll tell you, the worst one was the tummy tuck. Tummy tuck was worse than my SRS, everything. It was because they cut your stomach and they lift the muscles, and that's your core. Ooh. And so just sneezing, farting, coughing, dropping something is a bitch.
Eye surgery plays a part in unrealistic beauty standards.
Tony,
Like, people are usually
That'll
not
happen.
born with perfect boobies or
Yeah.
perfect anything. So
for
definitely,
reference, either when I was realized that I wasn't a 2 out of 10, not think anybody had overtly told me I was attractive. Obviously, besides, like, my mom. Mom. But, like, that's what parents do. The way that I was able to tell was based on how people treated me. That's how I was, right? Like, people didn't treat me like the scum of the earth, right? And that was an indicator of that. And if they did treat me like the scum of the earth, it was because I perceivably did something to them, or because they were just cringe as fuck and just.
it does.
And it's not just plastic surgery,
That's
it's the fillers, it's the
usually
Botox,
what
Yeah,
all
exactly.
that stuff. All that
Exactly.
snowballs into, I mean, so I sometimes get complimented by people on the internet being like, oh, you're such a natural beauty. And I'm like, like
Natural
it's
wear,
just like-
baby.
Plastic surgery is a privilege.
So as a trans person myself, I feel
Obviously,
like
it costs money.
plastic surgery is definitely a privilege,
Fuck, it
because
costs
even
money.
just
Of
being on
course it is.
hormones for a trans person is a privilege, and not all of them are able to access large amounts of money just to get a procedure, because they're just not granted that.
It's not a privilege. Anybody could have it. Really, to me, it sounds like only certain groups, of a socioeconomic group can get it, but anybody can get it.
And I
What?
respect that, but I think
Wait,
having that
there are only certain socioeconomic groups that can get it. That is objectively true.
option.
You have to have the money to get it. You don't get like, well, oh yeah, by the way, here's the breast augmentation, your state-sponsored breast augmentation. Not a thing, unless it's like injury and stuff like that. I've heard that you can do, or like was it breast cancer? I think you can also get it. Isn't that it? You can get it with breast cancer.
Choose. Oh, I'm gonna go and get my tits done. That is privilege, and I come from a third world country. You know, like I've seen struggle, I've seen bad.
The trans can?
So
Not in America, right? I don't think, not in America. Maybe in some EU countries, that might be the. I don't think in America you can be. Oh, you're talking about with the bill that's trying to be passed. Like I know Bernie Sanders wanted that passed inside of his Medicare for All plan, but.
to me, I'm blessed, and I think it is a privilege.
Some people overdo it with plastic surgery. 3, 2, 1, go.
What is the question?
I think if you go to the point in which it affects your health, nah, that is too
Some
much. So,
people overdo. Of course, it's like some people. This is a dumb question. Some people objectively do. But like this is a stupid question. The question should be most people do, or like very little do. That should be like
that would be overdoing it. But who are we to say, oh, that person is overdoing it just for the sake of it, you know? Just because you personally don't like how they look. That's none of your business. That's their body, you know? If they're happy, it's okay.
I stopped when I felt like I needed to.
okay. This is kind of a. I understand these people's perspective on this. There are objectively people that get like addicted to augmenting their body, like some like goddamn fucking I forgot what the game. I was gonna say Metro Exodus. That's not the game. The fucking like transhumanist shit or whatever. The fucking I don't know. I was making the meme about that shit. You know, that game that Deus Ex, thank you, Deus Ex fucking shit where everybody's fucking modding everything about them. They're fucking hardcore fucking hardware fucking mods, arm mods, leg mods, toe mods, right? There are people that legitimately get addicted to augmenting the way that they look with plastic surgery. And by any medical standard even, they would be overdoing it because they have an addiction to it. However, like, the question is stupid in the first place because some people exist. What a stupid question.
Stop.
If you can afford it, is it really an addiction? Would you apply the same thing to crack addicts that can afford it?
I think if I continued to get plastic surgery, I would have started just tearing myself apart. And I feel like I might have gotten progressively more critical of myself.
I never understood why people call other people botched. I think that's really fucked up, and I don't think that other people need your projections onto what they view as beautiful, because the media preys on female insecurity and they beat that into your head to want to look beautiful, perfect all the time.
I've gone too far. I had liquid silicone injected in my body from head to toe, and now I'm paying the price now. I had it taken out of my body maybe 50 times. But they can't ever get rid of it completely because it's plastic. Can you overdo it? Yeah. But is it my business? No.
Well, welcome.
I agree with all of you guys.
I would let my children get plastic surgery. 3, 2.
I mean, why not? You just gotta you just gotta be cautious about it. You gotta make sure they're informed. But yeah, it's their body. I view the plastic surgery situations because, to my knowledge, in some cases, for plastic surgery, especially things like breast augmentation, can have negative repercussions on your health. You just need to I view it the same way as like eating potato chips and shit like that. It's my God-given right to eat junk food every day of my fucking life, all right, and lower my lifespan by 20, 30 years. That's my God-given right. It's my God-given right. My children? No, children are too rash? No, when they say children, I'm assuming they mean of age, not like people who are 13. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the question. I'm taking the question as just your kid, not somebody who is like 13 years old.
1, go.
If my child was underage, I wouldn't sign off on it because
I think they mean
would like
underage.
them to-
Oh fuck. Okay. If they mean underage, I would probably say no. I don't think you're probably, well, whatever age we decide that to be, right? I don't think that you have the availability to understand the long-term ramifications of said actions on your body.
to mature more, and elective surgery, I think, is a big emotional roller coaster, the whole healing process and getting the operation. And by the time they're 18,
Little Caesars is fucking smoking, dude.
that is up to them, and I would support them because obviously I'd be a hypocrite otherwise.
I am from Venezuela, and Venezuela is very big on plastic surgery. In my country also, it's very common to gift like quinceañeras. Like, do you want your nose done? A rhinoplasty. If you don't like your nose, you're 16, 17, you can be under 18 and you get that as a birthday present.
I would support them with whatever they wanted, but at the same time, I have to ask them why they would want to get that in the first place. Like, did I not give you enough validation as a young person to feel more comfortable in your skin? Like,
Oh, so they do mean underage. Yeah, I wouldn't encourage that underage people do any augmentation. But again, where do we draw the line at underage? Is it just arbitrarily we put it at 18 for this specific thing? Like, at what age do you understand the ramification for like some of the more minor plastic surgery? Because like we aren't talking about like necessarily like BBLs or anything like that. That shit that shit's risky. That shit's pretty risky. To my knowledge, more risky than other types of plastic surgery. But thank you for the 8 months total, 6-month streak, Android.
I would want to know where it comes from before I give them the okay to do
I agree,
it.
100%.
Social media pressured me to get plastic surgery. 3, 2.
This is probably the case, whether consciously or subconsciously. This is probably the case. That's why it's kind of a weird question.
Like, this is something I knew I wanted no matter what. Nothing could have like forced me to do it because it's something I wanted so bad. As I got older, I kind of learned that like I literally don't give a shit when anybody like tells me about myself because I know who I am and
Hell
nobody
yeah.
else does. So
As you should.
When I started 40
I think
years
it's
ago,
often a combination of both. Your vision or your view of how you should look is informed by your environment. So to say that like I wanted this independent of the environment, I think is a bit hope. I think it is incredibly off. I think it is always the case. Sorry, not incredible. I think it is always the case that your view of yourself and what you ought be and your ideal self is informed by your environment and the culture that you're in. I mean, that just seems demonstrably true by human behavior. And so yeah, it's like I understand what they mean in essence is that like they care more about that vision of themselves than actively the current ongoing tidal wave of social media I don't want to say indoctrination, propaganda or whatever you want to call it, hitting them and influencing them. But the fact of the matter is like we're a combination of our environment and our biology. I think singling it out and just saying, well, I wanted this intrinsically, like genetically, I think that's a bit cringe.
there was no internet. And I just did it. It was my own obsession. I've been in the
I
media
disagree. I think on some occasions I could see it being acceptable. Like if you're a child and you were in an accident and something fucked up. Well, obviously, the fuck? It's neon. Obviously, if my fucking kid, if my son cracks the fucking pavement and his nose is bent sideways, I'm gonna ask him if he wants to get that shit just like what the fuck? Like, come on, man. You know that's not what the question is. You know that's not what the question is. Come on, man. Like, let's be honest. Like, nobody would disagree with that shit. Somebody's fucking falls forward or some shit, like fucks up their hand or something, getting some plastic surgery to make it look like maybe it did before the accident or whatever. Nobody's talking about that shit. People are talking about like cosmetic shit, right? Opt-in type beat.
And I've done shows about plastic surgery before, and I've noticed that people who didn't have it 30 years ago, whatever, and now all the kids have it now.
I feel like it's also hard
Tommy,
to tell.
you are one petty, bitter fuck, man.
is my own idea of beauty? Like, what is
Elective is different than
influence
corrective,
from
sure.
society, and what is my own perception? Because I struggle with this all the time. I'm like, I think to myself, well, I got plastic surgery because I wanted plastic surgery. But then I think further, I'm like, well, do I want to look this way because of media? But I do, at the end of the day, feel like we all have like a subjective opinion on beauty, you know? I just feel like everyone makes it out to seem like, oh, you got plastic surgery because...
Okay, let's put it this way. It would be very convenient if everybody had this incredibly individualized idea of beauty, and it all happened to be so similar. That would be so incredibly convenient. Isn't it incredibly convenient that the amount of breast augmentations that reduced women's breasts to almost nothing is so rare in comparison to the breast augmentations that increase the volume of breasts? Isn't that kind of weird? It's just an indication that it's probably just a mixture of both. Now, whether or not that doesn't mean it's you, I mean, it probably is, right? Like, it's just there's overlap. That's the way the culture works. That's the way that our environment is inside of at least America and what have you. Yeah.
You know, all the Instagram models made you feel like you needed it, but I really truly believe that there are people who just, you know, genuinely like that appearance, like in your case.
It resonates with them.
The results of my surgeries were exactly what I expected. 3, 2, 1, go.
Exactly what I expected?
Although I'm super happy with both of my procedures, they're not perfect. Being in the adult industry, I've had people point it out to me in my videos and like clown on my
You're still looking so...
So that, you know, has definitely made me a little insecure. However, if I didn't get that lift, then my would be really sad.
The only surgery that I got that I didn't expect the results was my reassignment surgery. I actually was really desperate, so I flew to Thailand by myself. I didn't realize it would take almost like a full year to fully recover. And I wasn't prepared to enter womanhood because, you know, I don't have a mom that taught me that stuff. So I would always...
Well, it's hard. I couldn't even look at my for a year.
But it was really hard because I was always so hard on myself because my brothers would say really disgusting to me, like saying, "Oh, why did you even get that surgery? Why did you even cut off that part of yourself? Like now you just have like a festering hole and it just smells and it's disgusting." And
how old were you?
I was 19.
Oh, that's very young.
Yeah.
I was 19 too. I've had so many surgeries that some have been good, some have been bad, but I never blame the doctor, you know? And I've had some quacks work on me. You know, and they f***ed up, but you know what? I just live with it and just, you know, you can go ahead and, when that heals a little bit, go ahead and go to someone else if you're not happy.
I really like how you recognize that and you don't blame the doctor.
I don't blame it on the doctor. No, why should I, you know? Because they could do the same procedure on me and with you, and I could get an infection and screw up.
And it can be totally fine.
I mean, there are good doctors and bad doctors. Like, let's be candid. There are good doctors and bad doctors. A Yelp review never hurt.
Implant or whatever might settle different.
Plastic surgery made me happier. 3, 2, 1, go.
I feel like I was happy before, but I just put on like a real bra to go out the other night, and like the joy that it brought me, like I literally almost could have cried because like it was something I wanted for so long that it genuinely made me happy. Like it wasn't like I was sad before.
How much did these go for now?
Well, my surgery was $6,400.
What? 64?
Yeah, my happiness really is not based on my plastic surgery. Did I add confidence? Oh, 100%. Yes, I was happy before.
Fuck that shit,
they were taken away tomorrow, honestly.
Bro, that's like 3 gaming PCs, man. That's like more money than I've spent on my PC in video games in the past like 8 years.
Suck, but I will still be happy. I will still be there. It's okay. I'm alive. That's all that matters.
You'd be pissed, let's be real.
No, I will be pissed for a while,
Amanda,
bro.
no.
But eventually, like, if that's how it has to be,
definitely.
Okay, whatever. Like, I'm alive at the end of the day, you know? Like, it was a choice. It was a cosmetic surgery. It's not something that, like, I needed. You know, it's something that I wanted.
Don't flamenco. Nice.